Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to another 13 days of Halloween video. I am having so much fun with this series and I hope you guys are enjoying all of the videos. In today's video, we are going to be using some super cute vinyl that my friend Shell sent me. She is a tumbler maker and she just started selling all of her own pattern vinyl. She's got some super cute and super unique patterns. So I will link her Etsy shop down below if you want to support a fellow tumbler maker and get some really cool vinyl patterns. She sent me a bunch of her patterns and when I got them in the mail, I was immediately inspired and I knew I had to throw at least one of them into my Halloween series. So that's what we're going to be doing today. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button down below. Let me know what you think in the comments and be sure to subscribe to my channel if you are not already so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Okay, I think that's it. I hope you like the video. Let's go. We're starting with a 30-ounce skinny straight tumbler. This is actually a sublimation tumbler, and we're going to do some epoxy on it. You can totally do that if you want to. So I'm going to very lightly sand my tumbler down, wash it with dish soap and water, and now I'm going to mix up some epoxy. I've got about 40 milliliters of my Artist Cure epoxy from Flynn Sisters Supply Shop mixed up here, and I'm going to take When in Rome. This is a new white glitter from Peachy Olive Glitter's new sister company, Olive's Glitter Outlet. So I'm going to put quite a bit of that into my epoxy, mix it up really well, and we should have a very well saturated cup of epoxy here. So then I'm going to take that epoxy and put it all over my tumbler. We're doing the quick glitter kind of cheat method here. If you prefer to glitter your tumbler the traditional way, you absolutely can, but this is just going to be the base or the sparkly underneath for our transparent vinyl. So you don't need to do anything super crazy underneath. It's just going to give our vinyl a little bit of a sheen. So once I have that applied, I'm going to torch it and then let it spin for about 8 to 12 hours. Once it's dry, we can go in and apply our vinyl. Now again, I'm using transparent vinyl, so we want to make sure that we have a smooth and shiny surface. You don't want to sand down your tumbler before you apply your vinyl. Now to apply our vinyl, we're going to do a full wrap. I am going to leave a little bit at the bottom of the tumbler that we'll tape off and paint later. So to do our full wrap, we're going to cut off the excess from the top, and then we will secure one end of the vinyl down to the tumbler and wrap our tumbler. You guys have seen me do this 1,000 times, and the process is the same every single time. So I'm going to wrap my vinyl around my tumbler, and then I'm going to take a piece of painter's tape and tape down one edge of the vinyl to secure it in place. Then we'll peel back about 1 inch of the backing, cut that away, and then we will start to adhere the vinyl to the cup. I am going to use my vinyl scraping tool as always to push the vinyl onto the cup while I push the backing away in the process. This just helps prevent bubbles and lifting and creasing and all of that stuff that you don't want. Now the seam we're just going to cut right down the middle. We're going to end up covering this later, so just cut off the excess. You don't have to do anything special here. And then for the top, we're going to pull that vinyl as tightly over the top rim as we can, and I'll take my craft knife and just trim all of that off and give us a really nice, clean top rim. And then I'll take my blue painter's tape and I'm going to tape off that bottom edge of our tumbler so that we can paint the bottom of our cup black. I just want everything to kind of blend in a little bit better. So I'm going to paint this black and hopefully make the transition from vinyl to tumbler look a little bit more seamless. Now you can spray paint this if you want to. Whatever you want to use is totally fine. I'm just going to use some black acrylic paint. I'm going to put a little bit of it on the bottom of my cup and then just spread it out, trying to do a relatively thin layer. You don't need anything too crazy or drastic down here. Immediately after painting, I'm going to remove my tape and I'm going to let this sit and dry for about 30 minutes and then apply a coat of epoxy to my tumbler to seal the vinyl in. And now we can go in with our seam camouflaging glitter element. So I've got some terracotta acrylic paint and my glitter glue mixed together in a cup here. And what we're going to do is kind of like a jagged glitter section over our seam. I wanted it just to look a little bit rough, kind of like maybe cat scratches or just something kind of like spooky and rough and rugged. I don't know. So I'm taking my paintbrush here and on the seam, I'm just making these different length strokes and we're just going to cover up the whole seam. I'm going to do this all the way down the tumbler. You can make this as wide or as skinny as you want. I made mine a little bit wider, knowing that I was going to put my decal in this area and kind of make it a focal point of my tumbler. So once I got my paint on, I'm going to take Myers 2.0 and I'm going to use that to cover up my paint. You can use any color glitter you want. Just depends on obviously the design you're doing. So once I had this first round of glitter on, this is when I decided to make this section larger than I initially did. So I just took some more of my paint and glitter glue mixture, made some more little strokes on each end on the outside of my glitter section, and made those as rough and varied as I could to really give it that spooky, sharp-edged cat claw look. After my glitter was applied, I took my chip brush and just brushed off as much excess from those edges as I could. After that, I let my cup sit and dry for, I think I actually let it sit and dry overnight. With the glitter glue, you just need to wait at least 2 hours before you move on to your next step. So once my glitter was dry, I went through with the glitter glue and my water mixture. I just do a 50-50 mix, and I'm going to seal my glitter. Because we used a chunky mix, I'm going to roll my cup on my paper to flatten the glitter out a little bit, maybe get rid of a little bit more excess, brush off the excess, and then I'll seal it with my glitter glue and water mixture. I let my sealer dry for 2 hours and then I added another 2 coats of epoxy to my tumbler. So my cup at this point is pretty smooth, but I am going to go through and do all of my sanding. I'm going to start by cleaning up the top rim of the cup, and then I'm going to sand down the top rim really well and then sand down that glitter area really well so that we can lay our decal down and everything will go on smoothly. For the decal on our tumbler, we're going to do a double offset. So for the very bottom layer, we're going to use gold chrome. For the middle layer, we'll use regular Oracal 651 white vinyl. And then for the top, we're going to use a light purple vinyl. So I'm going to lay down each layer, obviously one by one. If you would like to layer your decal before applying it to your cup, you totally can. I just prefer to layer my decals on the tumbler versus all beforehand. And I made this decal very large. I think I made it like 8 inches tall. I wanted it to take up as much of this glittered space on our cup as possible. And this decal, by the way, will be available on my website if you would like to use the same one. So we're laying our gold down first, and remember when you pull your transfer tape, you want to pull it as closely to your vinyl as possible to prevent bubbles and lifting. Now I'm going to use that same piece of transfer tape to lay down our white layer, and I am going to cut this into smaller pieces and apply piece by piece. These super large decals are really hard to apply perfectly in one swoop, so I'm going to do it in little pieces. And now this was really difficult to get to stick to the gold vinyl. I don't know if it's because I touched it with my fingertips and I got oils on there or something, but I did a lot of work to get these to stick to each other. and I struggled with the top layer as well. But as the transfer tape got less and less sticky, it was a little bit easier to get the decals to release, but just keep that in mind. Be patient. Take your time pulling your transfer tape off because you don't want any of your vinyl to get ruined, and then you have to cut this whole decal again. So just be careful as you apply. And now finally, we're going to lay our top layer. Now this is again just regular Oracal 651 vinyl. I'm going to place this in little pieces as well, just taking it line by line. Again, the smaller sections just make it easier to line up your decals and make sure everything is centered. Now you can do any color combo you want. I wanted to do the purple because there were little pieces of purple in that Black Cat's vinyl that I wanted to highlight and kind of pull together and tie into the design. So I went with purple. After my decal was laid down, I went right into my final 2 coats of epoxy. I did not seal my vinyl this time. Most of the time I do, but sometimes I just want to go right into epoxy. So here is what the final design looks like. I am really happy with how this turned out, and I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. As always, be sure to let me know what you think down below in the comments. Give the video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my new videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Okay, love you. Bye.